All right. Shout out to Soup today and anybody else who's gone. RJ, we miss you. Michaela, you want to say something, RJ? No, she's good. Okay. All right. Uh, Hayden says hi, RJ. Very good. So let's give this a shot. Okay. What we want to do is we want to find the terminal point. Here's the steps to find the terminal point. Let's review. If we're in the unit circle and the circle has a radius of 1, who can tell me what is that point? What's that location? What's that coordinate? 1, 0. Over 1 and up 0, correct? It's okay. Well, let's continue to make mistakes so we get them out of the way. What's the location of this point right here? 0, 1. What's the location of this point right there? What's the location of that point? 0, -1. Excellent. Now, those aren't what we want to find. I'm just trying to help us understand what the heck we're doing. How many degrees is pi over 6? Do you remember? 30 degrees. If you can't remember that, what we do is we take pi over 6 and you multiply. Here's how we figure it out. You multiply by 180 over pi. And when you do that, what happens? Pi's cancel, you get 180 over 6, which is 30. Everybody good? Great. We draw a 30-degree angle. And we make a triangle. This is the coordinate that we want to find. That's what we call a terminal point. That's the coordinate we want to find. Very good. Zelly says that this is a 30-degree angle. So we have 60 and we have 90. And this is what we talked about yesterday and that whole geometry piece. Some of us remember, some of us didn't as much, but we reviewed it. If we're in the unit circle like we are, what's the radius all the time? 1. Do you remember how we go from the radius to the shorter side? We divide by 2, so it's going to be 1/2. Once we know the shorter side, do you remember what we multiplied by to get the longer side? Square root of 3. For the 30, 60, 90, we multiply by the square root of 3. 45, 45, we multiply by the square root of 2. So if we take 1/2 and we multiply by the square root of 3 over 1, we get the square root of 3 over 2. Are you okay with that? So now we can answer the question. The question is, what is the location of that coordinate? It has a horizontal value, square root of 3 over 2, and it has a vertical value, which is 1/2. Again, we'll do a few together. Okay, there's a lot to practice on. You're going to pick a couple off your worksheet to practice through. Okay, let's try the second one as well. Pi over 4 is how many degrees? 45 degrees. So my goal is to find that coordinate. I always draw the leg of the triangle back to the x-axis, 45 degrees, and back to the x-axis. What's the length of the hypotenuse, or the radius? It's always 1. Do you remember how we went from the hypotenuse to the leg for the 45, 45, 90? We didn't multiply by the square root of 2. We divided by the root of 2. 1 over the root of 2. Can I leave the square root of 2 in the denominator? No. So we multiply top and bottom by. Good. And we get the root of 2 over 2. So that's the length of this side. How about the vertical side? Why is it the same? It's 45, 45, 90. Two sides are the same in a 45, 45, 90. So we got the root of 2 over 2. So this coordinate right here is root of 2 over 2, root of 2 over 2. let's try two more together, okay? I'm going to start letting you work on your own. We're going to kind of check in, see where people are at. Flip it over. I want to try 8 and 9. And folks, I want you to know that we actually want to get to a point. It would be great. Not you don't have to get there, but it would be great if you could get to a point where if we just say the angle like 7 pi over 6, you can say, well, here's what the coordinate is going to be. Like you know it because you see a pattern develop. There's a pattern that develops. Pi, how many degrees? 180. If I end up on the axis, I don't have to draw the triangle. What's that coordinate? You're done. And so we've covered all of the numbers so far. 0, 1/2, root of 2 over 2, root of 3 over 2, and 1. 0 and 1 will always be on the axes. 1/2 and root of 3 over 2 will always be for the 30, 60, 90s. And then root of 2 over 2 will always be for the 45s. Those are always the numbers that we use. See that? So let's do one more together and then let you go to work. 7 pi over 6. Anybody know how many degrees that is? It's 210. We would multiply by 180 and we divide by pi. That's how you convert it to 210. You see that the pi's cancel. 180 divided by 6 is 30, times 7 is 210. So we're at 210 degrees. Which quadrant does 210 bring me to? The third quadrant. Excellent. I always draw it back to the x-axis. How many degrees past? I'm 30 degrees past. So what kind of special triangle do you have? A 30, 60, 90. Now we just put the parts in place. What's the hypotenuse? 1. What's the shorter leg? 1/2. What's the longer leg? Square root of 3 over 2. You can see that those are always the values that you use. So the location of that point is what? What's the x value? Close. Negative root of 3 over 2 because it's to the left, right? What's the y value? Negative 1/2. You're in the third quadrant, so they're both going to be negative. It's okay. All right. I'm going to post the answer key. Actually, okay, so the other class, the other trig class, they had the same worksheet a couple days ago. So the answer key is up there. I'm just going to move it up here so it should be the same one, okay? So you can go ahead and check that out. I'm going to come around and I want to make sure I can see everybody do one of them on their own, okay? So you got the rest of the time to work. You should be able to get it done, not bring your work home with you, okay? Good luck. You can move in if you want to work in groups, you can.